What's up, Epic 7? TristenWulf here, and I know I'm a little bit late on this one. People have been asking me, what about Mercedes? Is she great? Is she the most insane broken thing ever? Or is she a skip? Is she a pass? And I tell you what, I went over this unit with my stream live, got my first reaction to it, and I don't know. I don't know. I have flip-flopped back and forth on this one. I've gone from she's insane to wait, I can counter her like this to nah, she's totally handleable, back to no, actually she looks really good. I have not had a harder time making up my mind since last night when I was trying to figure out what to have for dinner. So yeah, I had to call a friend. So I reached out to my good friend Valky and said, Valky, I need some help. I got some ideas on this. On paper, she looks really, really good, but I keep seeing things that made me think not so much. So I'm back and forth on it. So he said, look, buddy, let's get into a call together and let's break it down. I said, bet. And we recorded it, and we're going to come out with a complete breakdown of the new Lady of the Scales Mercedes. How good is she really? Where does she fit into the meta? Is she worth your pity, or is she a wait and see, or is she a hard pass? So we're going to get into all of that, but first we're going to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, and that sponsor is the Huawei AppGallery. That's right, Huawei AppGallery is still out there and kicking. I know a lot of you've seen the prices shift a bit, especially in Turkey. A lot of people were upset by that, but we have compensated with better and stronger coupons. And if you join my Discord and jump into the Huawei AppGallery channel, hit us up in there and we will help you figure out what is the best way to maximize your discounts, get even more discounts. Make sure you're getting the best value for your dollar. The coupons on this will save you 15-20% or more on your purchases, so definitely give it a try. And I have a complete guide on how to install it. I know it's a long process, but it's worth it. We're talking about saving money here, and you know, when Mercedes comes out, you know there's going to be once in a lifetime packs with her, or at very least some serious anniversary celebration packs that are going to be juicy. So before you swipe, make sure you're using the Huawei AppGallery to get the maximum value on those purchases. A link to the installation video will be in the description of this video. Just ignore the part about the additional discounts through Turkey. You just want to use the video to show you how to install it, and you're going to run off the coupons. And like I said, jump into my Discord, link to that in the description as well. Jump into the Huawei room. We'll give you all the tech support you need, help you pick the best countries to get you started, and get out there and save some money. Now that's been discussed, let's jump in and talk about Lady of the Scales Mercedes. Okay, Lady of the Scales Mercedes. So, god damn, the art department knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's talk about, is she a must pull? Do you dump your pity on her? Should you skip the current rotation and go in on Mercedes, or do you wait and see? Let's jump over and check out her skills. Lady of the Scales Mercedes is a Taurus Soul Weaver, surprising all of us with the Soul Weaver. A Taurus Soul Weaver gives her the same stat line as Desert Jewel Basar. That means she is amongst the fastest of the Soul Weavers in the game, and she's got a good chunk of effect res to boot, and HP and defense. Well, she doesn't really have HP and defense. She's pretty glass. That was always the hardest thing about Desert Jewel Basar, was building him fast enough to take the turn while being tanky enough to not just die, while having enough effect resistance to not just get controlled. Any two of those things is easy, but all three is tough on a Taurus stat line. So let's take a look at how they address that with Mercedes. First is her passive, her skill 2, Scales of Equity. At the start of the battle, grants offering to the foremost ally. We'll get into offering here in just a few minutes. It is impressive.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
When an ally granted offering dies, so the foremost ally gets offering, when that unit dies, it's a 50% heal of everybody on your team. Whatever your health is, whether it's 5,000 or 45,000, you get half of that health back. When the combat readiness of an enemy increases during battle, increases the combat readiness of Mercedes by 35%, 50% after Mola, of the amount of the combat readiness increase. That was a mouthful. Basically what we're saying is if somebody CR pushes by 50% on the enemy team, 25% goes into Mercedes. If somebody does a 20% CR push to every single person on the team. That is 20, 40, 60, 80% CR push total. Mercedes gets a 40% CR push. So this is going to be really, really strong into AoE pushes. It'll let her out push the effect of an AoE push. And this effect will not be applied to the combat readiness increase effect triggered by the same skill. Valky, you want to explain that confusing ass sentence there? Because that one stun locked me.
Like, you know, you can't, like, if a Frida is AoE pushing her entire team by 100, you're not getting 50, you're getting, like, what's it, 12.5? No, that's not what it means. The same skill refers to skills of equity. So when you're in arena and you're in a mirror match, you know, two Mercedes aren't just generating infinite circle jerk amounts of combat readiness. So if a, you know, ML Payra does her entire combo and she gets her team 220% combat readiness, you're going to be able to get a whole extra turn out of that as the Mercedes player. So it is going to be a lot. And I would say this effect is in direct counter to Lone Wolf Payra being able to have so much tempo as like a do-it-all kind of unit. And on top of that, Ahmed Cleave has been super popular lately. So this is easily one of those units that you just build really fast, steal the turn from the Ahmed DPS, and not only do you create a tank out of nowhere, out of any character without offering effect, let's just say you have multiple ways of interrupting the Cleaver's turn as well as we move on to see the kit with this character.
Yeah, because like Aram, for example, is 100% CR push. That's only going to send 50 into Mercedes. Your unit's going to go first. Your ROM is going to push that unit up. Mercedes won't cut. But with a mid is giving like a smaller push to the entire team, but that's going to give a push to Mercedes that's twice the impact of what any individual on your team gets. So suddenly Mercedes is going to cut all of the units that a mid just pushed, making it a lot tougher to Ahmed Cleave. This unit was specifically designed, I think, with units like Ahmed and Payra in mind. Now let's talk about offering for a minute, because it's not just all about the CR pushing, countering Cleave, or even the healing you get from that front unit dying. Offering grants 70% damage sharing, which means Arius. It's a 70% Arius effect to damage received by all allies, and it all goes into the front unit. And if that front unit takes lethal damage, it grants immortality for 1 turn. Holy shit.
Yeah, this is like, basically what this means is, one, if you think about the best tanks in the game, they can mitigate upwards of, like, even Empyrean Illinev, you know, we were glazing her earlier. She's only mitigating damage up to like half, you know, a lot of it is with the Penres and then the Aureus. This one, you just automatically 70%. So I remember when you were like, she's glass earlier. Well, you know, by the first skill, she's already not glass, because that means, and since this is a unique effect, you cannot strip these, you cannot deny these, you cannot deny it with buff block. There is nothing you can do to counter this. Anything that is played on a team with Lady of the Scales is automatically 2.5 times tankier. And you are doing so at the cost of your front unit. I know in the showcase they use something like a blue Crow, which is good, right? He goes to immortality, you whore something for your entire HP bar, whoop-de-doo. But I think there's a lot of crazy combo potential that you can have with this character, because you turn anything into a tank. Like, think about it. You turn martial artist Ken into a tank, and he has really high effect resistance. Where you
oh my god!
Strip the immortality, and not only that, don't forget he has Sigurd Scythe scaling, which means whenever he's low, taking damage for other people, and then there's a crit, he counterattacks, and then he's gonna heal back up. I think that's where he's gonna be really crazy, or like the really wild applications of this offering buff.
Okay, so just as an example, here is Afternoon Soak Plan dropping an S3. This usually does upwards of 18 to 19k damage. Into Mercedes did 5.8k damage. You can see 13k of it, 70% damage went into Crow. So this was an upwards of a 19k S3. Only 6 of it got through. Not even 6 of it got through. 70% mitigation is insane. So that solves a lot of the tankiness issues. You're going to be able to build a much softer Mercedes. I think this Mercedes only has 17k health, would have died hard without that 70% mitigation. So this allows you to focus on effect res and speed and not have to worry as much about health when you're building this unit. Okay, so let's talk about her S3 skill, because as if the S2 wasn't enough, that passive, there's more to her kit. Her S3 skill, the Caress of Mercy, with the goddess's authority, dispels all debuffs from all allies and increases combat readiness by 15%. Consumes 20% of the current health of the ally in the front granted offering, and then grants abundance to all other allies for 2 turns. So this is a lot. So let me sum this up real quickly, right? This is basically Desert Jewel Basar's S3, but with no healing and immunity buff. Okay, you're going to cleanse all the debuffs off your entire team, just like Desert Jewel Basar. You're going to CR push up your entire team, in this case by 25% after Mola. And instead of healing, you're going to grant the abundance effect, and you're going to consume 20% of the health of the ally granted offering. Now, I'm not entirely sure why this is, but yeah, you just take 20% of his current health away, gets him closer to that point where you're going to proc immortality, but it can never proc immortality. Even if you only have 10 HP left, it's only going to take 2 of that HP off of it. It's only going to be 20%, and it doesn't heal that I can see. It doesn't do anything with that 20%, just consumes it. And it's going to grant abundance, and abundance is like Cascade at home, right? It's a buff. Not really a buff, it's an effect. It's a unique effect that inflicts 2,000 extra damage when you attack, much like Cascade, but since Cascade is a buff, this is a unique effect. So if you're wearing buff blocks, you will still be able to get this. I suspect if you're wearing block from Tenebria, you'll still be able to get this, because unique effects go through buff block, and I think they might go through block in general.
Yeah, I mean, everything coming out now, it can't be hard countered by Witch of the Mirror Tenebria. So you got to make sure it's a unique effect. It's got to be able to go through. So yeah, I guess that's why it's its own thing instead of just being a part of what you call it, Cascade, right? Yeah. But yeah, I think the thing that's going to be really annoying about this is just the fact that she takes your turn. She can cleanse all the debuffs, so she's not only good versus like pure CR and damage type cleaves, but versus debuff cleaves, if you can get her with enough ER, she's going to be able to flip everything. And like we already saw, this is a character that doesn't need to build much bulk to be super tanky. Everything she builds is 2.5 times tankier due to that offering effect. So you can just stack infinite ER on her, and I think, like you said, Japan is cheering right now because this character seems like it's built for them.
Yeah, right. Now one thing to note, we talked about earlier, this last sentence being for mirror matches, so that you couldn't just get infinite CR scaling if you had Mercedes versus Mercedes, but this skill is a skill of a different name. This does give a 15% CR. So if you're in a mirror match, this will push all of the allies in your team by 15%, but it's going to push their Mercedes by 30%. So in a mirror match, you might want to be careful about using this skill, but that's okay. They gave one of the most ridiculous S1 skills I have ever seen. Valky, tell me what you think about Divine Punishment. Has a 75% chance to inflict fear for 1 turn before recovering health of all allies proportional to that ally's max health. And if you soul burn it, it's an AoE fear at 100% chance to proc, and it's only 10 souls.
Let me tell you what, Tristen, we both have a buddy called Divine, and I'll say what, like, he would never punish anybody like this, because this debuff is some Pokemon shit, man. Like, I don't know, like, I already don't like Fear being on Mort because it's so Pokemon. I don't know how else to call it. It's such a fun house, ooh, look at me mechanic, right? And It's like, oh my god. I guess, like, when you go up against an Omni Cleaver, you can build this character high res, high speed, super fast, steal the turn, and then, you know what? I'm gonna say it. Small Mouse hair tie, Lady of the Scales Mercedes. You just soul burn this. Cleave is, I mean, if they get lucky, they can play, but otherwise, it just seems like you fear their team, and then they're just screwed, right? Like, because I guess this one's not as bad because it's 1 turn, but sometimes you get very unlucky. You fear 4 guys, and none of them actually gets crowd controlled, which is awful. I don't know if I like this. It's so RNG that I can't see myself liking it as a player, and I can't see myself liking it as the person playing against it. But you could definitely just carry Spotted Mouse hair tie on the Mercedes, soul burn this, maybe get some souls back, and then just fear an entire cleave team.
Yep. Now, some people saw this fear buff with the solid red background and thought, oh my god, it's permanent fear. You can't cleanse out of it. It's a graphical mistake. You can see in the fight, the fears that are applied are your standard black background. You can cleanse out of them fears. It's not some special unstrippable, uncleansable fear. You can get out from under it with artifacts like Sweet Miracle or cleansers. But we talked about synergy with Ross before, and remember Ross's artifact gives you 10 souls on his turn, and then another 10 souls. You could theoretically use this artifact to soul burn S2 Ross, get your disintegration, get your seal, and then take an extra turn generating 10 more souls so that your Tenebria is ready with divine punishment. And Tenebria and Ross working hand in hand with Tenebria's what was it called? Offering buff sitting on top of Ross, who can come back to life, who's an HP scaler, can have tons of HP. There's a lot of synergy with these two units. I think Smilegate was probably sitting down there going, hey, we're going to give Ross away for free, but we need a little something for us. We need a way to make sure we make some money. So what can we do with Ross that's going to make him be Mercedes' best friend? It's going to really make people want to have both these units at the same time. So once they get a hold of Ross, they're going to look at the synergy and go, damn, I need me some Mercedes. And I really think a lot of Ross's kit and the special artifact they're giving away over top of these banners really mesh very, very well together.
I think you touch on a really good point here as well. I wasn't even thinking about the synergy that they have, but you know, like Ross has 2 turns, and the first turn he gets two HP bars, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I guess the first HP bar you can use completely to just HP battery something, and you can't die, and you're just guaranteed to take the turn, right?
Yep.
So once he gets that turn, he's gonna do his thing, seal combo. But bro, you got me thinking about all the immortality. Like, can you imagine, like, put BBK in front here, and it's just like you're supercharging your BBK, and then she hits the immortality, and then she has the second immortality.
Yep.
I don't think she's getting a third immortality, but like I think even with 2 immortalities, having a 70% HP battery is ridiculous. And like, bro, you can throw in a Miki up front. Hello, like,
holy crap, a Miki! Oh my god.
Yeah, like she absorbs damage for everything. She goes into the immortality, and then she's gonna hit something really hard, and then sit back at 0 CR, get another immortality with offering, and all your units are still 2.5x tankier. Like, it's kind of toxic. Like no.
Yeah, remember, guys, you don't need a tanky unit up front unless you want to play games, right? You could put Boss Arunca up front. Something I thought about earlier was if you don't want to run or if you want to run a really, really tanky unit up front, you could run this artifact right here, Proof of Valor, 30% reduction to incoming damage. That includes damage transfer. So if you've got 30k damage coming into your unit, and that would proc your immortality, you have Proof of Valor. It's going to remove 30% of that damage. So instead you only have 21k damage coming into that unit, and that's survivable. So suddenly 21k. Suddenly you're able to survive and take one more round of damage before you proc the immortality. So there is a world where you could put Proof on an ultra tanky unit like Boss Arunca. I think an age of 30k HP Boss Aruncas on Proof of Valor might be upon us. And also consider, if you're going to put this nasty offering artifact on Boss Arunca, you could run her on Noble Oath, and now suddenly you've got a 1 HP Boss Arunca using her S3 to give herself a fat ass barrier while staying at 1 HP with immortality, just running people over because of the insane damage you get out of Noble Oath with the defense scaler. But you can flip the script. You don't have to go high HP. I was thinking about running Strays, because anytime somebody says, hey, what can be used to stop Cleave? Cleave's going to find a way to use. What if I put Strays in the front and let him have immortality, and just making sure my opponent didn't pick anything that can control or strip my Strays? I don't even have to CR push him with Ahmed anymore. I can just wait until I eventually get to push that button and destroy the enemy team. Something that
really good point. Like,
oh shit, Valky, dude.
Yeah.
What if we put Tori up front? And then the immortality is permanent.
Oh, bro, wait,
Yeah.
that's kind of dirty. Cause then, okay, she's an infinite HP battery. You can't strip the immortality. What if you just build her on that like base speed counter attack build that some people have? So you have Mercedes on 3.
Oh,
And then you
shit.
just pick your Tori on 4-5. And if somebody's not aware, like, first of all, your Tori's never taking a turn and losing the immortality. There is 0 physical ways you could strip this Tori, so you can't kill her. This literal infinite HP battery. And if they hit her, well, she counterattacks, she gives herself a barrier. Now she's even harder to kill. That's actually so dirty, man. What?
Dude, I'm looking at this team. I'm thinking how much faster the fight would have gone if Tori had been a slow counter Tori up front instead of Crow. The enemy probably won't even see it coming. They'll think there's no way Tori's going up front. Oh my God, I need to build a second Tori.
Okay. You don't need this Crow here. This Crow is so redundant. Wow, wait, I have to think about this now. That actually sounds pretty gross. I need to look for a second Tori somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, and your idea of ML Ken countering everybody with the effect resistance to not be debuffed or stripped, not lose the immortality, especially with an effect resistance imprint coming off of Mercedes there, because everyone's going to have this girl at plus 15. They're giving her imprints away, well, not for free, but for 50 gold transmit stones. Bam, she's triple S.
I think that's probably the highlight of this character is she's just so different. She opens up so many new avenues of team building where now you have these teams that don't have a tank, but it's as if they have a tank, but then more. And I think that's probably what's going to make this character really scary.
Yeah, that... My hat's off to the dev team on this one. I love it when they come up with kits that make me think. It's not just like, oh, big damage, go brr, enemy dead. It's not simple. It's one that lets people think. It's going to let the chefs cook and come up with new ways to play the game, new team synergies, and that's what keeps it fresh. That's what keeps the meta mixed up. So you don't have to hear us like, I hate RTA, it's the same 5 units every single fight. It's the kind of thing that shakes that up, and I like that. But how hard is the shake here, Valky? I mean, is she a must pull? Is she going to absolutely change the face of the meta? Is she ruining everything? Is this Harsetti 2.0? Is this ML Luna on release? Or is she just a good, solid tool for your tool belt?
I think probably closer to a solid tool on the tool belt. One thing that makes characters like a must pull is one, how many different teams you can play them with, and also how many good matchup they have versus like meta teams. Like Bossarunka and Renax are a great example of this. From Village to Cleave, you could play both characters, right?
True.
And then their good matchups also extend from Village. Like in Village, like a super tanky 30k HP Renac is gonna farm. And then in Cleave, if you just have a full tank Bossarunka eating all the hits for your 3 squishies, she's still very, very valuable. So here, because she opens up so many new avenues, I don't think anybody can really say if she's gonna be like a must pull or not, but she's at least very strong. If you just, I mean, like look at this effect here, right? She's just so good versus like high damage, high tempo comps. Also, this is a misplay here. Like this crowd should have soul burn. I don't know what the guys at these showcase teams are doing. I'm just saying it, man. They're giga bums. You soul burn like Flan and Peyra would be reasonably dead here, but like I guess like here you just want to save it, so you fear the Genua and then trigger him. But like anyway, I'm getting off topic. But it's a character where I say, you know, just go follow Tristen's channel, right? Watch him on Twitch. Watch the new summon, see how it goes, and see if it's one of those characters you have to get, right? Like, you know, that's why content creators are out here. Like, we exist as a testing chamber.
I appreciate the plug of the promotion, but let's be real about this one, guys. If you want to see how Lady of the Scales Mercedes really plays out and how Genesis Ross fits into the world of RTA, make sure you guys are following Valky. Links to his credentials will be in the video description. Make sure you check out his YouTube, follow him on Twitch, watch him on launch day. He'll be putting these units through their paces. This guy has forgotten more about RTA than most players will ever know in their lives. So you really want to see how impactful this sphere is, how brutal it's going to be when people use this offering on everything from Tori to ML Ken to Dark Corvus to Ross to Bossarunka. He's going to be testing it 6 ways to Tuesday. And that, I think, is the bottom line of this, is testing. It looks really good on paper. but it also looks like there are ways around it. She doesn't bring a lot to the page other than stalling. Her S1 is just fear, stalling. Her S3 is just, or her passive is just damage transfer, stalling. In and of herself, she doesn't really bring a lot to the table outside of the 2,000 extra damage from her abundance buff. She just slows the fight down. So if you're able to pivot into teams that can just out damage and out sustain her, it's just killing her in slow motion. There are artifacts and units that ignore damage share. There's ways to strip and or steal those immortality buffs. There's things you can do to combat this. And are there enough of those things to make her balanced? Are there so many of those things that it makes her a footnote? Or are there so few of those things that she's going to run people over? And how well can you weave those things into a counter offensive against her? That's the kind of stuff you're going to be watching people like Valky to figure out. And that's what's going to determine whether or not she is a must pull for you and your style of play. My recommendation, as always, is wait and see.
Yep. Oh, I mean, it never hurts to just wait a little bit and see what the content creators are doing. And of course, thank you for the shout out, Tristen. But if you want to see people playing the game at their absolute best, no better recommendation I can give than to watch the actual best of the best players in the entire game right now, playing every single weekend in E7WC. And I definitely hope to see some of you guys there as your caster for this year's Worlds.
Hell yeah, I'll be looking forward to it. We'll be live streaming that as well. You guys make sure you tune in to the E7WC this weekend. Now, Mercedes and Ross will not make an appearance in the World Cup. They are too new. Maybe for the finals, we'll have to wait and see, but you'll still get to see people bringing their best game. So definitely tune in for that. And remember, Mercedes is a 3-week-long banner. You've got plenty of time. You've gone your entire life without Mercedes in your life. You can give it 2 to 3 days minimum. Don't just decide on day one. People will be out there destroying people on day one because everybody's going to let her through when they should ban her, and nobody's going to know how to deal with her. So it's going to look pretty brutal day one. By day 3, we should have a pretty good feel of how good is she and whether or not she is worth your pity, worth your mystics, whether or not you should whale up and go get her or not. Unless, of course, you're thinking with the little head instead of the big head. If you're gonna pull for waifu, then you pull. Little head always trumps big head.
Look at the boobs, man!
That's right.
I want boobs!
But if you are playing the meta game, let's see how she tests out before you make that decision, because it could go either way. There's such a spread on this skill and on styles of play, and on so many ways people are going to cook with her. We really got to wait and see how she stacks up before we decide if she is a must-have or if you can live without her. So let me know in the comment section. Are you guys going for Lady of the Scale? Ooh, thighs. Are you guys going for Lady of the Scales Mercedes? Are you excited about Genesis Ross? Do you think she is a must-have, or is she someone you're just going to pass or wait and see on? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you guys have a great rest of your week. I'll catch you next time, Epic 7.
See ya.